Okay, so you clicked on this video and are probably wondering if it's clickbait. Well, it's not, mostly. I have with me today two iconic fountain pens. One of them is the affordable Pilot Varsity, which anyone can pick up and use for only $3.50. Okay, so I put $3 in the title because $3 just looks a little cleaner than $3.50. I guess there's the clickbait part, but the rest is legit, okay? The other one that I have is the Pilot Emperor White Rabbit 105th anniversary fountain pen, which is for real $12,000. Now that's a whopping 324,857% increase in price over the Varsity. Just by these numbers, that seems kind of insane. But I want to show you what makes these two pens worth what they each cost, and why I think both of them are amazing pens. Let's start with the Varsity. Now the Varsity is technically designed as a disposable fountain pen. It comes preloaded with 1.5 milliliters of ink, which is plenty of ink capacity, and it looks fairly disposable. It's attractive enough, but it doesn't look like anything fancier than your average disposable, maybe gel rollerball pen. Pilot offers it in 7 different colors: black, blue, green, pink, purple, red, and turquoise, if you buy them in a full set, though they're currently only offering the black, blue, and purple ones individually in the US. The ink performs well, and it doesn't cause any issues, but it also doesn't have any outstanding properties. It just sort of works, just like you would want to if you weren't wanting to have to think about it too much. For a pen this price, you might not expect it to write maybe all that great, but that's where it's actually pretty surprising, because for as simple as a pen as this is, the nib actually feels and performs pretty great. Now, it's only offered with a medium nib, similar in line to a Pilot G2 gel rollerball in the bold 1mm width. Now, some people like to write finer than that, but I think this is actually a pretty good size for, all around writing for most people. The nib is surprisingly smooth, and it's actually a little bit bouncy, which wouldn't really expect from a steel nib like this. The pen itself is quite light at only 10 grams. But that's great for carrying it around because you're hardly going to notice it in your pocket. It's made out of a very flexible and durable plastic, so it can really take a beating. And the design, well, it's pretty utilitarian. It has injection molded plastic parts with the mold lines showing that are friction fit together, with the design on the barrel and some kind of printed wrap. It definitely looks and feels mass-produced, because it is. But that's not a knock on them. I think they're fantastic pens for what they are, and they're one of the go-to pens that I'll give to kids, friends, or basically anyone who wants to try a fountain pen, but doesn't want to have to learn a lot about them before getting into, experiencing how they write. They're just easy. Okay, cool. So you can get a decent writing pen for $3.50. So what in the world justifies a pen worth $12,000 when you could get over 3,200 Varsities for that? Well, there's certainly going to be the law of diminishing returns in full effect here. So as we get into rarer materials and designs with any pen, the cost goes up significantly, more than is justified purely by its utilitarian function. The vast majority of you watching this would never consider spending $12,000 on a pen, when that same money could be put to use buying more practical things like Hot Wheels, stiletto ballerina slippers, or a solid gold Lego brick. It seems kind of crazy that any of these things sell for these prices, but I think value is very much in the eye of the beholder, and I hope to explain to you why a pen this expensive can justify its value. Now, when you take a look at a pen like the Emperor White Rabbit, there is a lot to take in. Now, this pen in particular is special because it was made for Pilot Japan's 105th anniversary of their founding year, 1918. Normally, Pilot makes all of their high-end pens like this under their sub-brand Namiki, named after the founder Ryosuke Namiki. Namiki pens are a labor of love for Pilot Japan. It's like the soul of their business. The vast majority of Pilot's business is more commoditized goods like G2 rollerballs and friction pens, but the high-end pens like this one, they make because it's a part of the company's heritage. The packaging itself is pretty impressive. A pen like this is certainly a collector's item, so you get a large box with the presentation that you might expect for a collector grade product. The packaging uses traditional Japanese materials, and the box itself is coated in urushi lacquer, which is traditionally used in a lot of dishware and furniture in Japan. The box alone is an impressive piece, and that's unique for this particular pen given that it's an anniversary pen. You get a number of things inside that commemorate the anniversary, like a placard with the pen number, a bottle of ink with the White Rabbit logo on it, a card from the artist who made it, and information about the pen and the history behind its theming. The particular artist who made this pen is Masahiro Yamada, who has made other incredible pens for Pilot Namiki as well. Because of the time involved, these pens are limited to only 99 of them made worldwide, each one individually numbered and signed by Masahiro. Now, it's a large pen, far larger than any typical pen that you probably use in your daily life. Though it's enormous, it's actually fairly light for its size, so it's more comfortable to write with than you would probably think. And while you'd be inclined to take a pen that's this expensive, keep it in its box and store it away, maybe in a safe, but there's nothing that makes the artists who make them happier than knowing that they're being written with and enjoyed every day. Now, this is one of the largest nibs that you can get on a fountain pen today. It's the largest gold nib that I'm aware of on any modern pen. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show you how this particular pen writes because I want to keep it pristine for its ultimate owner, because it is still for sale. A lot of the reason that this pen is so large is because it's really a canvas. What makes up the majority of the cost of this pen is the time commitment of the artist who does the hand painting work with the technique that's known as maki-e, which uses natural urushi lacquer made from urushi trees. They use gold and platinum powders and mother of pearl, all hand placed on the pen. Urushi lacquer is an extremely durable material, and it's a beast to work with. Artisans train up for years, often decades, to achieve the level of craftsmanship seen on a pen like this. Urushi lacquer requires extreme patience to work, applied in thin layers that have to cure fully within a very specific level of humidity before the next layer can be applied. It can take around a week for each layer of lacquer to cure, and a pen like this might have 30 to 40 layers built up on it to give it its full texture. So you can understand just how much of a time commitment it is to make these pens. It's all done by hand using traditional Japanese tools, often tools handmade by the artist. Now, the White Rabbit is named such because of its theme, which is heavily incorporated into the design. Pilot's 105th anniversary falls on the Japanese Year of the Rabbit. Now, in Japanese culture, the white rabbit holds special significance as a symbol of fortune, longevity, and cleverness. Its appearance is often associated with positive omens and the potential for favorable outcomes. The deity, Okununushi, pictured with the white rabbit, is known in Japanese mythology for being a central figure in the creation and consolidation of the land, and is revered as a god of nation building, farming, business, and medicine. The visual depictions creating the landscape on this pen, such as the rocks, the grass, the rabbits, are using a multitude of different maki-e techniques that use platinum powder, gold powder, building up many layers of lacquer and hand burnishing to create 3 dimensions on this pen with stunning depth and color. I can't overstate just how incredible the craftsmanship is on a pen like this. And being a craftsman and myself, having spent years of my life woodworking, I can deeply appreciate the time and the skill of the artist who has labored many, many hours holding this very pen in his hands. It's an entirely different connection that I feel with a pen like this than with something that's mass produced. So what it all boils down to is a $12,000 pen worth it, especially when compared to a $3.50 pen like the Varsity? Well, if you're talking purely using a pen to write, then no, probably not. It definitely writes nicer than the Varsity, but not 3,200 times nicer. But it's really about more than that. It's about the love, the time, the care, and the investment in a time-honored craft from a devoted maki-e artist that lives in pen form. And by watching this video, you've gotten the best value of all, getting to learn more about a special pen like this without having to pay a dime. And you can learn a whole lot more from other videos that we have on our channel, Goulet Pens. And you can check out gouletpens.com for a lot more pen information. You can check out pens, ink, paper that we have for sale to enhance your writing experience. Please let me know what you think of these pens down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Right on.